Gentlemen, good morning, Vietnam. An absolute pleasure to see everybody out today. I hope you all had a wonderful day. I think it was a gorgeous day all over Alberta today. I certainly had me a good time. I was downtown getting into some freaky stuff, and I'll show you a video evidence of what that means like very shortly. Hey, Chantal.
Hi, Gavin.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, it was an uncharacteristically good hair day for me too. So, uh, you know, it was nice all around. Really, a good day was had by all. And so we're going to get into some things today, ladies and gentlemen. I did a lot of talking yesterday, which is so unlike me. Um, Today, I'm going to hand it over a lot to Chantal. She has some really interesting things, I think, that just kind of materialized recently. Um, and so we're going to discuss that. I hope you all are doing well. Do you want to say hi to the people? I'm gonna open up Facebook or yeah, YouTube myself.
No worries. So,
Yeah.
good evening, everybody. There were some developments today that came to light just regarding where is it here? A counter message happening within the coalition from Lethbridge.
From Lethbridge.
Yep.
Okay. Just let me see here. We got a lot of David Harper in here. Hey Pam, how are you? Uh, oh yeah. Is that you, the ma'am air? That's not you, is it? No.
The Mama Arabza. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay. I'm doing good on my immunotherapy. Amazing. Just busy. Cool. We would like to welcome whoever the third person in here is, although it could be me, you, and Pam. I'm not sure. Uh, but there could be two other people in here. So if you're in here, please say a hello to us and tell us how you're doing today. I don't think we need to really waste much time. I'm just going to open the show with a little bit of what went on today down at City Hall at the protest. It was quite an interesting day. Um, we had a gentleman come out that I knew he was going to come out. I won't make this long. He kind of described to me what he might look like when he showed up, but I have to admit I wasn't quite prepared for what I saw. So he showed up with a helmet on and a yellow visor over his face, blue helmet, yellow visor, in a business suit, and literally a flag that could be flown on top of a building. Like it was huge. I can't tell you how big this flag was that he was holding, and he had like a stand for it, so he put it in a stand, and the whole flag was tinfoil. So there was nothing on the flag. It was just a tinfoil flag. And I thought, well, okay, I get it. You know, the tinfoil hat thing. Haha, cute, cool. Maybe we can run with that. At least he was a spectacle. When he was up there, he kind of looked like, he'd draw some attention to the protest. And so I didn't have a problem with it. Anyway, about, I don't know, 45 minutes into it, the security showed up and they told us he had to get down. And I said, oh man, yeah, of course. They said, yeah, there's bylaws, right? I'm like, well, cool. Can you show me the bylaw and I'll get them right down? But can you show me the bylaw first? And the guy's like, oh, I don't have it on me. It's in City Hall. I said, well, that's okay. You go get it. We'll wait here and bring back the bylaw and then we'll get him down. And he's like, well, we just want the guy to be careful. I'm like, oh, so you don't have a bylaw? There's no law against this. You're trying to tell a 40-year-old man to be careful. Now, I understand with the tinfoil and the helmet and the business suit, maybe he needed to be told that. But anyway, they walked away, and of course, there's no bylaw, so nobody had to worry. But this guy got really freaky, let's say. As a matter of fact, I titled the video Le Freak from the 70s, Le Freak, c'est chic. Freak out, if you remember that song. And so, very curious things. And then he started screaming and yelling, but really angrily. And then he jumped down and said a few swear words and ran away. And I was like, okay, that's pretty strange. But anyway, I did capture a little bit of that on film, and I want to share that with you now, ladies and gentlemen. So please check it out. Okay, there you go. Um, I don't know what to say about that, but God bless the man. He came down and he really exposed himself. Um, I guess in the best possible sense of the term. Uh, and that was that. We had a really great day talking to people. We started a petition today, and we had lots of people come out to sign it. Um, so that was great. Great conversations with people. I had a conversation with a guy that is interestingly enough, a separationist, if that's a term, uh, and yet he was going to go on AISH as well. So that was a very interesting conversation about a guy who sort of to be at odds with himself. He needs something, and yet he's not going to get it going the direction he's going. So that was a very interesting conversation. I wish I would have filmed some of that, and I'll probably do that, maybe next time. I'm sure it won't be the last person that I encounter quite like that. Really great people, beautiful day out there for 80,000 people. I will say that it was only Pam and I today, and whatever Martian man. Uh, there was another lady there, sorry, for about the first half an hour. And that was great. But, I got to put it out to people. I had people respond to the one that we did on May 8th, and they said, oh, well, I'm just seeing this now. Can you put this out sooner because I really want to come? So I put it out 4 days in advance. And it wasn't one person that asked me that. It was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. And it was Pam and I today. So I understand that maybe 7 people got busy. That could be true. But if you weren't, we got to take this thing seriously. I know, Chantal, you want to open today with there are 50 days left.
Yeah.
And when I read your notes today, it just hit me. Like, holy shit, there's only 50 days left. And this ain't Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. You're not getting a gift on July 1st. You're getting the worst austerity program in Alberta's history, July 1st. 50 days left. I think we can be doing more about this. I understand that some people can't do it. Maybe they can only write an email, and that's awesome. But to the people petitioning me about the protest, saying, man, you got to let us know. Well, I did not let you know. And where were you? Come on, man. 50 days left. We got to get it together. We really have to start fighting for each other. We need to make a spectacle. We don't need a guy with a tinfoil flag. What we need is 500 to 1,000 people showing their support for one another, their love for one another. And if you're going to speak that, then do that. There should be no excuse there. Of course, Pam and I are down there, and we will be down there. I had my bullhorn today, and we had the letter signing. We were handing out Chantal's cards, left, right, and center. We were doing all of that. And in a city of 1.6 million people and 23,000 AISH recipients, there was only the 2 of us. So I'm really extending an invitation to everyone out there who has 50 days left, just like Pam and I do, to come out and to engage with the people of your city, to engage with the politicians that are ignorant and glib and don't seem to give a shit except what's on the menu. Uh, and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So it's time for us to bind together and bound together and show up in force for this. I don't know how to say it strongly enough, but it's time. It really is time. And you know what? You go out, you get a little bit of sun. I got a really good tan today. And, so there's a lot of vitamin D in your life should you choose to accept the mission. All right? So people should be coming out. That's what I have to say. What do you think, Pam? Do you think people should be coming out? What do you think? Yeah, right. Yeah, we need to get out there. Yes, I mean, Pam was out there. Pam's got her own physical issues. I have my own mental issues. We all got issues, man. Uh, but I mean, some of us got so many issues we have a whole subscription, and that's fine. But we're out there, man. We're doing the work. And we can't be alone. We can't be just Pam and I doing this, and it will stand as somewhat uh, a shame to me if we reach July 1st and it's still just Pam and I. That's going to be
Well,
really.
I think a lot of people could show their support for the cause even by putting a poster board in their front window, about AISH-to-ADAP switch. If they can only make it to the end of their driveway, take a sign out with you, right? Exposure is everything.
Right. And share
right?
share the when I post it on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, share that on Facebook. Like just click share, boom. You don't have to say anything. And maybe that's all you can do, and God bless you for doing it. Nobody's gonna put you down for any work you do. And I'll tell you what, I mean, getting out front of City Hall and really sticking it to them and showing by, sheer size, the fact that we're not going anywhere. I've been emailing, I just emailed all of the UCP, every member of the UCP, and demanded that they let me know who voted how on the transition. And I've included the media in all of the emails. Well, all the ones that have come back to me that just said, get a hold of your MLA, I've written them back now to say, sorry, not good enough. And then I've attached media and Nenshi and all these other people to that email. So, I'm doing that. I'm doing the podcast. I'm downtown protesting. I don't know what more I could be doing for this. We're looking at going to Edmonton on the 22nd. And we have to do the work. It's not just Zachary Weeks and Chantal and Gavin and Pam. It's got to be all of us. It's got to be all of us in some respect. So I just wanted to go with that. Pam, I'll put it over to you. Or Chantal, sorry, I'll put it over to you.
I thought, hey, did Pam call in? That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, but no, she didn't. I'm so tired right now. Oh my God.
No worries.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
So like you had mentioned that there's 50 days from now until the AISH-to-ADAP switch. I just wanted to bring to light that the government still has not published the ministerial order containing the detailed regulations, including the actual clawback calculations above the $700 employment exemption. Recipients are 50 days away from a program restructure. They cannot yet model accurately because the rules don't yet exist in published form. So we still don't know what is all coming with the ADAP switch.
Right. We're being handed this mess of Dante's Inferno, and we don't even know how bad that hell's going to look like. We don't even know where the doors are.
Nope,
We just
exactly.
we just know that we're falling through the down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
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 So where is it here? So the government is counter messaging and coalition municipalities. So on May 9th, one of my group members came forward today and let me know that Nathan Newdorf, I probably am butchering his last name, but anyway, UCP MLA for Lethbridge East, published an op-ed in the Lethbridge Herald titled Understanding AISH and ADAP, What Lethbridge Residents Should Know. So this is the first major government counter messaging through a coalition municipality. So a city that is all for pausing ADAP. Okay, let's make sure that we understand that going forward.
That
here.
was unanimous, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Lethbridge was the first city to pass an ADAP pause motion on February 24th of this year, and it was unanimous. Newdorf's op-ed thanks Minister Nixon for detailed information recently provided to the city of Lethbridge.
Oh.
So the key claim and what's wrong with it, Newdorf states that ADAP offers one of the strongest benefit packages in the country, approximately $300 per month higher than most comparable disability programs in Canada. Now that's the problem right there. So ADAP is $1,740 a month. Okay, so current AISH is $1,940 a month. ADAP is $200 less than what Albertans are getting now. Okay, so the $300 higher than other provinces comparison hides what Albertans are losing.
Say that one more time.
The $300 higher than other provinces comparison hides what Albertans are losing.
Right. So we can, I mean, there is truth that Alberta is probably one of the highest paid provinces where disability is concerned, right?
Yeah.
So that's a truth, and we need to, we need to speak truth. That's a truth. However, my argument would be that it doesn't matter what an Albertan gets, and not only that, Alberta is the richest province in Canada, hands down. 98% of all oil reserves are in Alberta alone. Only 2% are outside of Alberta. We are the richest province in Alberta. And it is not all programs like this, whether it's AISH or anything else, should be based on a market basket index, meaning that the market basket index is what you need to literally survive every month. So there is no argument that because we get more, we should get less. And the fact that whatever province is getting less may not meet a market basket index by a mile. And the argument is people need to live, they need to be sustainable on the money they get. It doesn't matter that Alberta gets a little bit more. Is Alberta sustainable? Are we the whatever, the handicap class or whatever, are we able to sustain ourselves month to month on the money we get? Every province needs to ask that question, and they need to answer it by providing it. Yeah.
Well, I also want to point out too that Alberta is the only province right now in Canada that's clawing back the Canadian disability benefit, which everybody already knows is happening, right? Dollar for dollar right off of our AISH check. So the fact that he's saying, oh, well, we already make higher than other provinces. Well, yeah, but then you guys are clawing back $200 of that for what?
Because what? Because we need to be penalized?
I have no idea.
Well, it feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but to compare Alberta to other provinces is like that's not the point. We want to compare where we are right now with programs that are in place versus what's coming. Sure, I don't need to know what somebody in BC is making because I'm not in BC. Exactly. I don't need to know what people on Saskatchewan income support are making because I'm not in Saskatchewan. Right. So he's trying to pull away from the fact that, oh, well, people on AISH shouldn't be complaining because we make $300 more than, any other province that's within the same kind of bracket. Well, you've just lost all credibility, in my opinion.
Well,
If
because
you have to branch out like that, no.
well, because that's simply not true. Because under the clawback, we would only be making 100 more.
Mhm.
If we make 300 more and you take 200 away, we're only making 100 more.
Yeah.
So,
But it's obvious that this individual hasn't done their research, and I emailed him today.
good for you. God damn it, I'm doing that too. I'm doing that too.
His other phrase here that he ended up using, so it's a quote from his op-ed, was clear appeal pathways are established, including medical and non-medical appeal panels to ensure decisions are reviewed fairly. Not with the new program, it's not. Bill 12 eliminated the independent citizens appeal panel.
Right.
So how can he say that? That clear appeal pathways are established. They were removed as of Bill 12.
Yes. Yeah, there's no appeal.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, no, still losing credibility. The body that overturned 37% of appealed AISH decisions across 19 quarters of data, what Newdorf calls appeal panels, are not independent appeal mechanisms.
So what are they if they're not independent?
They're for the government.
Right. Are they
Because AISH has their own appeal panel, or AISH had, or
Yeah.
has. I don't know what's going to happen with the switch, right? People going on to ADAP, we can't appeal that decision because Bill 12 was passed, right? So everybody that's going from AISH to ADAP, sucks to be us. Now we have to reapply for AISH.
Right. And so when we reapply, will we take all of the information that our doctor has back to ADAP?
I don't know how they're going to work it.
Yeah, nobody knows.
That's part of what hasn't been released.
Right. So nobody knows whether it's going to be a bureaucrat that had a bad lunch in Edmonton that makes these decisions, or an actual legitimate doctor. And then you have to ask, well, is that legitimate doctor working for the UCP, or is he independent? Why the fuck?
Or does he have any medical background in the first place?
Exactly. Like I said, is he a bureaucrat? Yeah, just having a bad lunch and stamping no on everything, right?
Yeah.
That, and hey, that's not a romantic notion, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody knows what's going on. Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how somebody is this out of touch, and the information is there, just has to look for it. I've got a card carrier in Lethbridge, like, it's there.
But I think it's his job to be out of touch.
Yeah, it really is.
He gets paid for being out of touch. We're seeing that
across everywhere.
Yeah, he gets paid for not knowing a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where is it here? So the federal provincial fiscal capture coming July 21st. So the Canada Disability Benefit is indexing, we talked about this yesterday, to inflation for the first time on July 21st of this year. So the first they're going to kick us, and then the 21st they're going to kick us again. The federal government is raising the maximum from $200 to $204. So a 2% indexation factor as inflation protection for disabled Canadians. For what? A credit that we don't receive that gets clawed off of our benefits.
Right.
How is that inflation protection for anybody?
Well, it's not. Once again, his argument is going to come back to argument one, right? The fact that we make more money. You see, like they'll argue it back to point one.
Yep. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. So
where is it here? But Alberta is the only province clawing back the CDB back from AISH-ADAP recipients dollar for dollar of whatever the actual CDB amount is, not capped at $200.
Not capped. What do you mean?
Well, it's not capped at 200. So if you got individually assessed and it's you get either more or less. So it's not $200 across the board. I've seen people messaging or commenting in certain groups that they're only getting $164 a month. Somebody else is only getting $45 a month. So it's not $200 across the board for everybody.
Right. But
right?
it is for me. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah,
when the federal benefit rises to 100 or 204 rises to $204, Alberta's clawback rises to $204.
right,
The recipient sees zero of the federal inflation protection. The increase flows to provincial revenue.
right. Provincial revenue. So
Yeah.
taking money from the disabled to
Well,
make
because we
their
were at what, 19 million? Like when we did the math that one night, we ended up factoring in, okay, $200 across all of the people that are on AISH,
right.
the 79,000 and change,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
When we did the calculation of that, that was $19 million that they were cutting from AISH because of this Canadian disability benefit.
Right.
That was meant to help us out of poverty.
Right. Right. So they're putting that back into their bank account at our expense. And
Yep.
yet they've fucked us over since the mid 80s in with trillions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to levy pain on us for a measly how much million? 19 million?
19 million, but that was across the board. That's calculating it at $200 a pop.
Right. But they're
Yeah.
going to make 19 million dollars when we should actually have about 1.8 trillion dollars in our bank account,
Mm-hmm.
in the Alberta taxpayer bank account.
Yep.
So the difference between 1.6 trillion or 1.8 trillion and 19 million is about 1.8 trillion dollars. Almost exactly 1.8 minus 16 million. There is no difference here. They're not saving money. They're destroying the handicapped class.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. So where is it here? So the federal government is expected to apply a 2% indexation increase to CDB payments starting in the July 2026 benefit year, raising the maximum from 200 to approximately 204 per month. However, because Alberta claws back the CDB benefits dollar for dollar, AISH and ADAP, the increase will not result in any additional money for Alberta recipients. The higher CDB amount will simply mean a larger deduction from the provincial benefit.
Right. Right. Yeah, basically, whatever gains we make are going to be clawed back uh, into antiquity. Yeah.
Yeah, so about $308 million of federal disability funding becomes provincial revenue in the first indexation cycle, and it compounds annually.
Okay, so does that mean that the 309 million is off of the backs of the handicap? Number one is by clawing back
Yeah.
everything, and then they're going to put that into a bank account to accrue interest. Is that what you're saying?
Well, with the AISH-to-ADAP switch, right, we're losing another $200 come July 1st. And everybody that's transferring under mandatory transfer, you don't get to fight that. If it happens, it's happening to everybody.
Right.
Unless you're in those, 4 protected groups that they've already stated, that's it, you'll stay on AISH.
Right.
Right. So if you're not part of that group, yeah, that's fine. You can cross your arms and say, nope, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to be part of ADAP, whatever. You're going to be transferred anyway.
Yep.
There's no stopping this from happening.
Yep.
Unless a pause to the ADAP transfer is actually called within the next 50 days, we are all transferring effective July 1st.
Yep.
And that's another $200 that we will be losing with that transfer.
And I don't want to get too hyperbolic here, but I can't help the image comes to mind of, the Jew standing outside the train in Poland saying, "I'm not going on that fucking thing."
Yep.
And
Either way, you're on board.
And the Nazi guard pushing his ass, or you know what I mean, saying, "Don't fucking matter what you want, buddy. You're on the train and you're going." And that is what this is, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see here. So the municipal coalition, that's everybody that is, or has formally sent motions or letters to pause ADAP. Okay, so everybody that makes up that group, it is holding and it is growing. So that is good news, at least for us. So Lethbridge put in their pause motion unanimously February 24th. Edmonton, what is it here? They submitted a formal letter to Nixon in January of this year. Another pause motion from Claire's Home. I murder most of these names. Oh my goodness. That was in February. Red Deer was April 14th or 15th. Motion by count. And they decided to advocate with everybody else saying to stop this. Calgary, as of April 13th to 14th, they put in a notice of motion saying that this needs to be paused. Camrose, same thing. That was confirmed as per Zachary Weeks. Medicine Hat is under active discussion right now, and then Rocky Mountain House administration has directed is directed to draft a letter, because I guess they're in this too. So Nixon's response on April 16th called municipal councils misinformed, stating, unfortunately, because of misinformation, some city councils are asking for things to pause, not understanding what the consequences of that decision would be. The government would save money.
To what? To pause it?
To pause ADAP, what the consequences of pausing that would be.
Oh no, that's great. Does he tell you the consequences?
Nope.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
because there are no fucking consequences. What a monkey.
No, there aren't.
What a fucking monkey.
They would be saving money. They'd save money, leaving us all on AISH.
Yes.
Because it would cost them at least what was it, $20 extra million a year for ADAP to be a thing?
46 million.
The cost,
yep.
the human cost, okay, right, of taking all of the stability that, okay, I can't say stability because AISH is not assured income. It is with strings, okay? So if you take away what little stability people have right now for financial, for their financial means, and you replace it with, you have to go to a work placement office to find work where the employer actually doesn't exist, but we want you to bust your butt to find it anyway, because you can manifest whatever it is that you're looking for. Bunch of bogus baloney. There is no consequence.
And he doesn't, you can say the word consequence all you fucking want, but if you can't give me what those consequences are, you're full of shit.
Yeah, show me the numbers. Show me your math. There's a reason why teachers always tell you to show the work. They want to know where you fucked up.
Yeah, well,
I want to see your work, Nixon. Just email me, show me your work, because the math ain't mathin', sweetheart.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, AISH costs the government, or about $1.6 billion a year. Okay. The new ADAP program is going to be an extra $46 to $48 million. Meaning the new program. AISH is $46 million less a year as a program than ADAP will be, because you need a larger managerial class to take care of all of that bureaucracy. So they're going to spend $46 million more a year on a managerial class that the conservatives hate. Right? That's communism to them. And yet they're doing $46 million more, but number one. Number two, if you fail, if the average person fails under ADAP because they don't have enough money to live, therefore they don't have enough to eat, therefore their biology suffers, and then their psychology suffers because they're freaking out all over the place, and they have to get a job that they can't do, that they loathe and, can't perform. If only 20 to 30% of people in the transition fail, the 1.6, $1.8 million that we are currently spending on AISH will rise to $2.3 billion on ADAP. You're spending $7 billion more a year for this new program. So you're right, it doesn't save you a fucking dime.
Nope.
Not a dime.
And I'm not sure what consequences he would be trying to come up with there, because there aren't any. There's the human cost. There's where is it here? Because I ended up sending you know me, I like to send my emails. So I sent the compound failure brief, the income crossover analysis. So I'm showing my work, consultation, gap rebuttal, the human benefits erosion report, and then the 73 reviews a day, the administrative impossibility piece, the math of processing 79,290 recipients without published regulations, with the deadline holding regardless.
Right. We got to break those down one of these days. We got to get into all of those files and arguments that you've constructed. We have to get into that. Yeah.
There's so much there. It's kind of like, what do we want to unpack for now?
Oh no, I mean, you start at the top and you end at the bottom. You know, what was the first thing that you mentioned?
That one there was that one. The compound failure brief.
There you go. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Compound failure brief.
What it is if you take housing and then you start cutting funding to subsidies, and you start cutting funding to people being able to apply for housing or to find housing because you're destroying the housing, right? What does that then compound with when somebody can't find a place to live? Right? If you start pulling accessibility groups or community support offices and whatnot, what does that compound for mental health for people?
Right.
Right? So it's almost like the snowball effect of what we're seeing.
Right. Compound meaning snowball. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about, is the fact that we are going to compound problems. We're not going to solve anything under ADAP. We're going to create more pain and suffering and disillusion and anxiety and depression. That's all you're going to get from this.
Yep.
So I would love to know what numbnuts meant by consequences.
Yeah.
Like,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
The people in this government, it's so hard to wrap your head around anything that they're coming up with, because it's like the math ain't mathin'.
But they're smart in that respect. If you just say the word consequences, people all of a sudden go, oh my God, there are consequences. We need to stop this. We need to, we need to stop these, people from us suffering consequences. But you never describe the consequence.
Nope.
Right? So you
see the people that are running our government right now go, oh well, I just said that, what the consequences that decision would be if we stopped ADAP, but I'm not gonna go into describe it or show my work as to where I'm coming to that conclusion, because I am the almighty Minister Nixon, and you're gonna listen to what I have to say and fear me. And it's like, nah, man, you need to show me your work.
Well, and you know what? It would be my assumption that that under ADAP, he's going to benefit so exponentially off the pain and suffering of other people. They're going to need,
absolutely, because every person that ends up homeless is going to seek any kind of help from his family's organization, which is the Mustard Seed.
Right.
So he's got literally nothing to lose. Oh,
right.
Well, the consequences of stopping ADAP, his family takes a hit, Gavin.
By stopping ADAP.
Yeah, because that means that there's so many thousands of Albertans that aren't going to be homeless then.
Yeah, well, tough fucking luck. I mean, you already, Danielle Smith spent $250 million or something last year just flying on jets and eating caviar, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm freaking out getting 19 $17.40 a month. And
Yep.
this chick's flying all over the world with 200 grand, at her disposal. And
Well, her take home is almost $220,000 a year.
right. And
That's a hell of a lot more than any of us see on AISH.
well, and it would be really nice to know. Well, you go ahead. I might do something, just a little research while you go ahead and keep going on your thing. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna grab my email here that I sent to this wonderful individual who obviously didn't do the work because I'm helpful that way. I try really hard to make sure that people are in the know. So to the Honorable Nathan Newdorf, MLA Lethbridge East Legislature, Building, Edmonton. Okay. So dear MLA Newdorf, I am writing in response to your May 9th, 2026 op-ed in the Lethbridge Herald, understanding AISH and ADAP, what Lethbridge residents should know. So feel the condescension, what is it? Me being condescending here. So I appreciate that the piece engages substantially with a program transition that will affect approximately 79,290 Albertans in 50 days.
Okay.
And I always use the broad number, right? Because trying to break everybody down and knowing exactly how many are in what category is like, forget it. So I'm just using the big number. Public conversation about this transition is overdue. With that in mind, I want to bring to your attention several specific claims in the op-ed that do not align with the documented record, and to forward the campaign's source materials so that your office has access to them as the transition approaches.
Okay.
So on the benefit comparison, your op-ed states the ADAP's core benefit rate is approximately $300 per month higher than most comparable disability programs in Canada.
Okay.
That comparison is to other provincial programs. The figure most relevant to current Albertans is internal. So ADAP's $1,740 base is $200 lower than the current AISH base of $1,940, right? So $1,940.
Yep.
The income crossover analysis, which is attached, documents the net income trajectory across employment scenarios. Most current AISH recipients will see monthly income decline, not rise. On appeal pathways, your op-ed stated that clear appeal pathways are established, including medical and non-medical appeal panels, to ensure decisions are reviewed fairly. Bill 12 eliminated the Independent Citizens Appeal Panel across 19 quarters of operational data. That panel overturned 37% of AISH decisions on appeal. The medical and non-medical panels described in the op-ed are not equivalent independent review bodies. The compound failure brief attached documents this in detail.
Okay.
On consultation, your op-ed describes engagement that preceded ADAP's design as one in which thousands of Albertans participated through surveys, public roundtables, written submissions, and telephone town halls. The consultation gap rebuttal attached documents specific procedural concerns with that engagement process, including limited disability community representation in the design phase and structural features of the program that were not contingent on the engagement outcome. So they didn't care if we were there or not. On transition protection, your op-ed presents the transition benefit as continuity for current recipients. By current public information, the transition benefit terminates in January 2028, after which affected recipients receive the ADAP base rate. That is a delayed reduction, not continuity. The health benefits erosion report attached addresses related concerns on the non-income side of the transition. So everything from medication, dental coverage, site coverage, all that. Because you know me, I got to pluck that chicken. Where is it here? The Alberta Disability System Breakdown is an advocacy and documentation campaign producing sourced, citable analysis on the AISH-to-ADAP transition. The campaign's full library is available at albertadisabilitysystembreakdown.netlify.app. We have also produced Building Up, a blueprint for the Alberta Accessibility and Inclusion Act, a 386-page proposal for legislated structural protections that would survive any change in government. That document is also attached in case it is of use to your office's policy team. Lethbridge was the first Alberta municipality to pass an ADAP pause motion February 24th. It was unanimous and brought by the then acting mayor Belinda Crossan. The municipal coalition has since grown to include Edmonton, Red Deer, Calgary, Camrose, Clare's Home, Rocky Mountain House, and Medicine Hat in active discussion. Your op-ed reaches that constituency, the documented record they will be reading alongside it does as well. I would welcome correspondence with your office on any of the claims above. If specific points in the attached documents are contested, the campaign is open to revision based on additional sourced material. Sincerely, me.
Okay.
And I attached all of that. So the compound failure brief, the complete one, and the plain language guide, because I really question the intelligence at this point. Income crossover analysis, the Constitution gap rebuttal, the health benefits erosion report, the building up a blueprint for the Alberta Accessibility and Inclusion Act, and I attached the original, what was it? The original series document.
Okay.
How many were in that one? Hit the wrong button. The one with 32 separate sections.
Okay.
So yeah, he just got like one heck of a information drop.
Yeah. 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 Of course.
Just out of the library that's available to everybody.
Right. Right. Well, you're definitely doing your work.
Oh, absolutely. I don't. I make everybody check their work. I really do.
All right.
Especially these people that go, oh, well, you know, we don't want to do this or we don't want to do that, or we're just going to talk out our butt, right? Nah, that don't work with me.
Yeah.
Show me your work.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with that?
Yeah. I'm just pulling up
But
something.
I think,
yeah. Go ahead.
no worries.
Yep.
If I think if a lot of us just, you know, continued to believe whatever it was that we were being told by the government, I think a lot of us would just kind of be helplessly ignorant at this point about what's coming, what's happening. You know, if we were to believe the framing of, oh, well, you know, there's going to be consequences if they pause ADAP, we should just let it keep going through, or my needs don't matter. Yeah, no, that's where the consequences would come in.
Right. Yes. Well, that's why we're working as hard as we can right now to, you know, to stop this entire thing from happening. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see here because Pam is saying that our videos are down.
Oh, let me check. Our videos are down. Let me.
Yeah, video's down, but audio's still there.
Okay, let me take a look here. Oh, what the hell is that? Okay, yeah, thanks, Pam. Yeah, when did that happen? Oh, that's been a couple minutes, man. Okay, Pam, we're on it. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Bam. There we go. My apologies. My deepest, sincerest apologies. We're back.
Okay.
Let me know, Pam. Looks like we're back.
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay,
There we
cool.
go.
Yep. So yeah, keep going. I mean, this is what we're doing, right?
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see some of their work when they actually start publishing it,
Yeah.
like publicly, so that, you know, I can start plucking that chicken. I'm running out of carcasses, Gavin.
Well, yeah. I mean, but yeah, I mean, how much more evidence do we need?
Hmm.
Like it's pretty crazy, man.
Well, okay, so you know how I have that blueprint that I put together for fixing the disability as a whole,
Yeah.
right? I know that we haven't gone through the actual document itself because it's like 300 and some odd pages. But I did one specifically for the province, right?
Okay. Yep.
How we would be able to do legislation and put laws in place to protect the disabled community, regardless of what government comes in. Because like I know that everybody goes, oh, you know, UCP is going to be out of here, and then you know NDP is probably going to get the vote, blah 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 blah.
Right.
I want to make something very very clear to everybody that'll possibly watch this.
Please.
Every group within the Alberta province, okay? So every group, the NDP, everybody,
Yeah.
okay? They have all done something to hurt the disability community at one time or another.
Right.
Every one of them.
Uh-huh.
So my goal is to make this nonpartisan, meaning it doesn't matter what group comes in, whose flag gets put at the top of the pile,
Yep.
that we are all protected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what are you saying by, I mean, I know people are holding out hope for Nenshi and, you know, the NDP or some liberal or something like that, but so what are
Mhm.
you saying distinctly about that?
That they can put into place certain laws and protections for the disabled community, and not even just the disabled community. I'm talking the people that are on what is it, old age pensions or taking from CPP on disability. Everybody,
Right.
right? So our most vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
need protections in place that can't be changed based on whatever government party gets voted in.
Right. So are you saying that whatever party votes in, I mean, I have a few problems with this whole different party thing. Number one, if ADAP goes through, nobody's going to say that any other government is going to reverse it,
Yeah.
right? Like that's an assumption on your part. That would probably have to be a legal process and a legislative process. And if the new government doesn't have a majority, it's going to be difficult to reverse that. Let's remember that because right now the UCP
Yeah.
is a majority, so they don't have to worry about anybody. They can do what they want, practically speaking. If you have a non-majority government that gets in, like Nenshi or something like that, then the UCP can still vote it down, and other members of any other party.
Yeah.
And right, so you're up to that. It's a lot better to keep something in place than to have to reverse all of the damage that it's going to do and all of the processes it would take while you suffer every day and the court drags its feet and the legislature drags its feet every day, you living in far less than you need to survive. So no, don't rely on that. That's a fool's game. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, here's an interesting question for anybody that decides to watch,
Mm-hmm.
right? All of my research, okay, I've found the AISH handbook that they use to train people. I've downloaded it, I've shared it, it's on the app. I've found what is it? benefit benefit books that tell us what is covered, what isn't covered from years ago to now. My question is, why is it that nobody audits these bigger bodies, okay, where they have paid people to do the, like, in positions where they can do the research and come up with what I've been building, where they have staff that apparently has all of this education background and have the paychecks to do what needs to be done. Why aren't we auditing them?
Uh-huh.
Because, like, I end up getting a lot of audits from people saying, oh, well, this information is wrong. And I'm totally open to looking at my work and revising what needs to be revised.
Yeah.
But why are we only asking people that are trying to help to revise their work when it's the government that is failing?
Well, this is the non-democratic state we live in. You know, everybody brags about democracy and that Canada's such a great fucking place until something hits you like what this is to make you, to give you the opportunity to realize you don't live in a democracy. You live in something else. And
Yeah.
so when you ask the question, how come they don't this and how come they don't that? Because we don't live in a democracy. We have sold our human rights for a mess of pottage, for an iPhone and, you know, Netflix. That
See,
we,
but I guess my question to that is, because I have people constantly crawling up my backside asking for, can I see your work? Right? Where did you come up with this? Where did you come up for that? Why aren't we asking these same questions to the people that are actually actively screwing us?
well, it's like we were talking about yesterday, right? Like the managerial class is the buffer zone between the government and the citizen. So you can bring something to the managerial class, they can promise to be, to get that in front of the people that should be held accountable, and that never happens.
Yeah.
And the glibness, you see, how do I got an email back from some dude. Where is he? This guy here, Drumheller, Airdrie guy. Um, Peter, Peter, Peter Pumpkin, Peter Guthrie.
Okay.
And he is somewhat against the clawback and things like that, right? But he was one of these people that said, oh, you should contact your MLA. And I said, not good enough. This is a province-wide issue. You're a UCP member. You need to disclose how you voted and what your
Yeah,
stance
exactly.
is. So that was the third email, well, the second I sent to get him to say it. And then he sends me this dumbass YouTube video of him speaking about it. I'm like, you glib piece of shit. Like, the last thing I want to look at is your ugly face, number one. Number two, he talked very quickly about, I don't like the 200 clawback and we're going to do something. And then another little thing, but his whole thing was about accessibility. And he never said how he voted. And he never, he said, we're going to make this, almost implying like we're going to make this transition from AISH-to-ADAP a soft landing for everybody. And I'm like, no, motherfucker.
Name's
See,
Willie Tucker.
right. So you see, we are locked in this miasma, this gross swamp, if you will,
Yeah.
of glibness and subversion and beating around the bushes of a thing, and a managerial class that stands.
That seems to be the new in tactic these days, is beating around the bush. You ask somebody a straightforward question.
Yep.
And they do everything in their power not to answer the damn question.
Yep.
Like, there is nothing, Gavin, more fucking frustrating than asking a point blank, simple question.
Yep.
That either is a yes or no answer, and they come at it with, oh, well, I have a bridge to sell you in China and it's orange. Like, what? Answer the question.
Right.
Like, how hard is it? Like, I don't get it. Like, I could see, okay, you're asking a child, okay, where's your coat? Where did you put your shoes? Go find your shoes. And I can't find my shoes, and they're right there. Like, if the shoes could bite, the kid would have no feet left. Right? And it's like, dude, look down.
Yeah.
That's the same frustration that comes across dealing with these people.
Yes.
Because it's
Yes.
like, answer the question.
Right.
Don't pivot. Don't reword it. Answer
Right.
the question.
Well, but this comes back to my whole thesis about, that we were talking about yesterday, right? Was the fact that unless your public servant is in direct proximity to you without any middleman, uh, if that's not the case, then you get what we get today. And we have sold our responsibility to the political, to the politician.
But
So,
even that one gentleman that you had a meeting with, remember, he seemed paranoid that you were recording. You remember?
oh, that
You
was
told me about that. You went in to meet them, and you
no,
were going to have a discussion.
it was a different
Who
thing.
was that?
It was a chick that I was talking to online that ran and didn't win.
Oh,
But this is her paranoia. Yeah, I called her. I did work for her, right? Video editing and put together, entire, PSAs, and
yeah.
so I hadn't talked to her in months, and I was wondering how she was doing. I called her up. I said, I just want to talk to you about, like you're thinking about running and you're independent, and I like that. And
Mhm.
and so what are you thinking these days? She said, well, I don't, I'm just no, I'm with the UCP now. I went over to the UCP. I'm like, why would you do that?
You copped out just to
Yeah,
get your foot in the door.
yeah. Why would you do that? Why? I thought you were like a, I thought you were a,
For the people.
yeah, like some kind of, social justice warrior in a good sense. I thought you really were about the people. And she's like, well, no, like, you need to align with somebody. I'm like, shut up. And then I said, well, tell me where your heart's at these days. Like, what are you thinking these days? Like, Chantal, if I asked you, hey, Chantal, tell me where your heart's at these days. What are you thinking about? What's on your mind? What's in your heart? You know,
Mhm.
you know what that means, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where does your loyalty lie? Is it still with the people, or is it with the paycheck?
Right. And what's your heart for? Like, do you care
Yeah.
about the handicap? Do you care about this? Do you care about that? What do you care about? Right. And she
Oh,
said, well,
absolutely.
I don't understand what you're saying. I said,
Yeah, so she's there for the paycheck.
well,
She couldn't reach the level that she needed to pass the popularity test. So she defaulted and went to UCP as her in, and now she's lost touch with what her actual motivation was.
yeah, because
So
she'd
she
rather
had
make,
to sell that piece of herself.
exactly, because she'd rather make money than have a principle.
Yeah.
Um, and then I said, well, what do you mean you don't understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm speaking English, and she's not English, but she speaks it. Okay. And I said, look, I'm speaking English to you. Like, what are the words that you're not getting? Like, and she said, well, I
Yeah.
just don't understand what you're talking about. I said, well, I'm saying, what are you, what's your heart these days? When I worked on your campaign, you were saying about this and you were saying about that. What do you think about, what do you think now? And she said, well, I don't know. I just, is there something I can help you with? I'm like, bitch, I was just talking to you 2 months ago, doing work with you, and we were like almost friends. And now
Yeah.
you're asking me, I said, I don't need your help. And that's not why I called for your help. Who the fuck are you? I'm not asking for
Yeah.
your help. And she said, are you recording me? I'm like, oh, bitch, now you just went off the deep end, man. Now
Yeah.
you just went off the deep end.
Should I
Like,
be?
yeah, like motherfucker, like dude at the protest today, just
Yeah.
totally off the deep end. I'm like, what are you talking about? Am I recording you? You're not that important. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, and then she said, well, if you don't need my help, then we're done. I said, I don't need your help. And she hung up the phone on me. I'm like, what an
Unbelievable.
interaction, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's that story. Yep, yep, yep.
So you ended up mentioning a little bit ago there, accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my building up argument or my building up document here. And that's like literally section 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So building up a blueprint for the Alberta Accessibility and Inclusion Act.
Uh-huh.
So what real accessibility and inclusion actually look like? Okay. So the definition, before any blueprint can be built, the terms have to be defined. Public conversation about disability frequently uses accessibility and inclusion interchangeably. They are not interchangeable. Okay, so accessibility does not mean inclusion. Inclusion does not mean accessibility.
Uh-huh.
Right? But everybody seems to use them as if they mean the same thing, and they don't. That pisses me off. Okay, so they describe 2 distinct obligations a province owes its disabled population, and a system can deliver one without delivering the other.
Uh-huh.
This document treats both as binding standards. Both must be defined before either can be measured.
Okay.
Now let's break down accessibility, shall we? So
Yes.
accessibility is the removal of barriers in the physical, communicational, technological, programmatic, and attitudinal environments that prevent disabled people from participating in society on equal terms with non-disabled people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Government of Canada's Accessible Canada Act of 2019 defines barriers as anything physical, architectural, technological, attitudinal, or information-based, communication-based, or policy-based that hinders the full and equal participation in society of persons with an impairment.
Right.
So that's a pretty big mouthful. The federal definition is comprehensive on purpose. It recognizes that disability is not located in the disabled body, right? So it's not our fault.
Uh-huh.
Disability is produced by the interaction between the body and the environment that was not designed to include it.
Okay.
So the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, because I've already been in contact with the UN, ratified by Canada in 2010 and binding on all provinces, including Alberta, establishes accessibility as a core principle and a state obligation.
Okay.
Article 9 of the convention requires provincial parties to identify and eliminate obstacles and barriers to accessibly or to accessibility across the built environment. So transportation, information, and communications. I haven't seen any kind of information be built to be accessible unless it's just on my page.
Okay.
Where is it here? So information and communications and services open to the public.
Uh-huh.
The obligation is not aspirational. It is a treaty commitment.
Uh-huh.
So accessibility in operational terms means a ramp where stairs could exclude a wheelchair user. It means plain language documents where grade 16 legalese would exclude a reader with a cognitive disability. It means a captioned video where audio only content would exclude a deaf viewer.
Mm-hmm.
It means a phone tree that offers a human option where automated menus would exclude a person with a brain injury. Severe anxiety or aphasia, it means a form that can be completed without a working printer, a stable internet connection, or a current driver's license. It means a public transit system that arrives where disabled people live and travels where they need to go. It means a hospital that provides interpretation, sensory accommodation, and physical access. It means a courtroom that can be entered, heard and addressed by a person with a combination of physical, sensory, cognitive, or a psychiatric disability.
Okay.
Accessibility is the floor. It is the minimum a province must build for disabled people to be present in it.
Right. Right. And I mean, all of those things are important. I'm not going to diminish any one of those things, but don't you think that accessibility can become an excuse for what is this moment right now?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
like when I hear this, whatever the hell his name was that I mentioned, and he's talking about accessibility, you're really fucking missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you could use that as a deflection so people can say, "Yay, we're getting that ramp."
Yeah.
Right. But oh, we're losing $400 or $200 and I have to go out to work and that work doesn't have any accessibility. Shucks. Darn it. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're pissing on you and telling you it's raining.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
So if we move on to inclusion, okay, so inclusion is the further obligation. Accessibility removes the barriers that exclude. Inclusion ensures that disabled people, once present, so once all of those ramps are built and all those doors are open and everything is accessible, are full participants.
Okay.
That their presence is welcomed, their contributions valued, and their needs met, their autonomy respected, and their humanity recognized as equal in every domain of life. And that's something that you like to mention all the time.
Yes. Well, because it's, we're talking about the dignity of the human species and no one is above anyone else where that where that is concerned. We are all, Pam and I were sitting today talking about this, right? There's no one above me and there is no one below me. I stand as a human being on the planet, being fortunate enough to have being born on it, and therefore I have my right to property, self-determination, the respect of all human beings. These are the things that I'm granted by nature. And I am granted to my own property, to my own plot of land. There is not a tribe in the world that has ever existed that didn't own, in some respect, their own plot. Now, it's not, I'm not saying it's capitalism the way we see it now. It's not that. But everyone had the dignity of having their own property. If it was shared, that's one thing. But everyone had it. And so now, because we're in this miasma of toxic, waste of a society, if you can't claw your way to the top, then I guess you got to die.
Yeah.
I guess you don't get to live. And that is against nature itself. God be damned. We don't need to talk about any Jesus or anything like that. Nature itself, just by the nature of you being born, you are granted this type of respect to live on the planet. And just because we've forgotten that, and just because we live the way we do, does not make it not true. It's been true since the day the first man or woman or whatever, climbed their way out of the sea and made it to land, and we started to evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So to continue on, a wheelchair user can enter a building with a ramp. That is accessibility. Whether they are listened to in the meeting they came to attend, whether their ideas are credited, or whether they are invited back, whether the agenda includes the topics they raised, that is inclusion.
Okay.
So a deaf student can attend a school with interpretation services. That is accessibility. Whether the curriculum reflects deaf culture and history, whether deaf staff are hired, and whether the social environment of the school treats deaf identity as fully equal to hearing identity, that is inclusion.
All right. All right.
A person with intellectual disability can apply for a job through an accessible application process. That is accessibility. Whether they are hired, mentored, advanced, paid equitably, and treated as a colleague rather than a charitable accommodation, that is inclusion.
Right. Right.
So the UN CRPD frames inclusion through the principle of full and effective participation and inclusion in society. Article 3, general principles. Okay. Inclusion is not a sentiment. It is a structural commitment that disabled people will be present, heard, decisive, and equal in every space the non-disabled population occupies, including the spaces where decisions are made about disabled people's own lives.
Oh.
Inclusion is the standard. Accessibility makes it possible.
Right.
Inclusion makes it real.
Right. 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 It's that, you know, the equality of opportunity, that everyone gets the same opportunity. The nuances of that can be worked out. I mean, like we were talking about, you know, your school thing and all that, right? And how do you, like, the integration of that? What does that look like? You know, you know, the handicap just deal with the handicap, or, you know, are they put within the general population? These types of questions can all be worked out. You know, there are some schools in the States, I really love this concept. There are some schools in the States that basically take a Socratic approach to how they teach school. So every morning, whether you're in grade 2 or grade 10, everyone in the school gets together for a half an hour Socratic dialogue. So they pick a subject, and then you kind of, you know, you discuss the subject, and you're part of a group, maybe, you know. And so what happens is that the 2-year-olds, because, you know, they don't know shit, really, you know, they're not educated yet. The older students in this half an hour, you know, kind of Socratic dialogue help the younger ones to understand what's going on and what it means, and then how they feel about that thing. And the whole day of their school is built around this really amazing approach of integration. And it's equality of opportunity, meaning that the 6-year-old gets the same opportunity that the grade 12 one does. But, you know, in so much as that, the grade 12 can exercise their patience and their knowledge and their understanding and their wisdom, and they can pass that down by generation. So I think that's kind of what we're talking about. This isn't rocket fucking science, man. It's really simple shit. Really is.
Like I've went to, I don't know how many meetings so far, just this school year in regards to my kids, because all like each one of mine are neurodivergent in some aspect. And they, like the school district that I'm in, they continuously boast about inclusion. Oh, well, we're inclusive, we're this, we're that. It's what I've seen with this district is not inclusion. It is not. Accessibility, sure. Yeah, they can get into the school, they can find their classroom, they can find their locker. Yep, that's about the long and short of it.
Right.
That is not inclusion. Right. Having a student lost during the entirety of the day because nobody's there to translate what's actually going on because of the intellectual disability that they have.
Right.
That is not inclusion. That is exclusion.
Right. Right.
Because they can't be part of the conversation. They can't have a meaningful position within that classroom. That's not inclusion.
But it seems fairly, like, that seems like a solvable problem to me.
Oh, it is.
And so how would you solve it?
Well, in my opinion, you would have somebody there that translates for them, translates the world for them, scribes for them because they're illiterate.
Right.
You know, it would have to be a human component
Mm-hmm.
to make that inclusive.
Right. So more aids in that sense.
More support.
More
Yeah.
support. Right. Whatever you want to call it, right. And problem solved.
Absolutely.
Right.
But trying to explain that to people that think that they know all and that can't answer a direct question, that's where the disconnect is. Because it's, oh no, we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing based on who God only knows. I've asked for policies. I've asked to see where they're getting their information from,
Right.
to make these, you know, these lack of accommodations. Like it shouldn't take, how long has this been going on? I was moved up to district level 5-6 months ago, and we've gone nowhere.
Right.
Like they still can't write an appropriate individual program plan.
And have you gone to the very top of what you would consider the top to discuss this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And they feel
Like
like
I have 3, what is it? Alberta Teaching Association complaints in already filed.
okay. Okay. And
And
yet
that's as high up as you can get, is formally petitioning a complaint against whoever it is that you have.
right. And yet they feel like their shit doesn't stink and they've done everything right.
Yeah.
So how do you fight that? How do you argue something like that? How do you argue against it?
It's extremely difficult because you're dealing with people that specifically have either been trained or are being advised to talk circles around you. So all that I've been basically doing for the last several years, okay, when it comes to my eldest, to get him support, to get him help, so that he can learn his foundational skills that he needs in order for them to be able to build off of something substantial. They just don't seem to get it.
Right. Or they do
So it's
get
just
it.
catching them in contradiction after contradiction after contradiction. It's like you tell me one thing 3 weeks ago, and now you're telling me something completely different to reframe what you said 3 weeks ago, but that's already been documented because I love documenting things, and I'll pick up on all of those contradictions and I'll push them back at the person going, hey, it don't work.
So you wonder if the buck stops with them then, or if they have somebody to answer to. What do you think?
Oh, I think at this point I've got them so caught up in all of these contradictions that they don't know which direction is up, Gavin.
Right. But do they have anyone to?
Because you know how I research and I pluck chickens, right? Imagine
yeah.
that scaled down to communication with a school and a school district and individuals within those 2 planes. So you've got the school where my kids are actually at every day, and then the district that's supposed to oversee, right? My mythology for documentation, okay, I've got thousands of emails saved, Gavin. Thousands. I don't delete anything. I have every IPP from 2017 when my eldest first went into a preschool program because he still wasn't talking.
Right.
I have all of that.
Right.
So
right.
when somebody comes into the discussion that I've been actively documenting over many, many, many years and goes, oh, hey, no, that's wrong. It's like, can you show me your work?
Right. Right. Well, you
Because
obviously
I have mine.
Well, you obviously have all the goods. You've got all the concrete, analysis. You've done all your work. So then is this just so what is it? Like you have to be able to define what it is that makes this an immovable object, right? Like what
the
is
unwillingness to change or to or the unwillingness to actually be held accountable for anything.
Is that because
That's what I'm seeing now.
change is work?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely, it would be.
Right. So they would have to work. They'd actually have to. They'd have to justify their paycheck, and they could justify it by doing nothing. So why do anything more than the very little you have to do?
Oh, exactly.
And then they're the ones that say, "Oh, I'm so busy. Oh my God, I'm so busy." And yet, really, you're so fucking busy that you can't change because it takes work to change, and you're not going to work. Well, tell me what the fuck you are doing then. Like, what are you really doing?
Like all this school year, all I've been told is that my eldest, for example, is on a modified curriculum because of his intellectual delay, his ADHD, and everything else that makes up my son.
Right.
When I finally was able to have direct communication with the school, which was cut off for a number of months, Gavin. So I had no communication with anybody dealing with my children on a day-to-day basis.
Why?
Oh, because I was dangerous, because I was asking questions.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So the principal of that school banned me from any kind of parent-teacher communication. I have no history of violence, Gavin. No. I just like asking questions, right? And I bombard people with questions, and they're really hard questions to wiggle out of. So she told me, no, you're not allowed to come to meet the teacher at the beginning of the year. There's all communication is going to be routed through me, and then all of a sudden, all communication was routed through head office, so district office. So no communication with my kids as teachers, no communication with educational assistants, no communication with anybody. Okay, totally cut off.
And this is
radio fucking silence.
And these are your children.
Yep. These are my children, and I'm supposed to trust that this industry or this school is going to be working in the best interest of my children.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Not happening.
Right.
So fine.
And so, I mean, just to bring it back a little bit, it seems to me like this is because we see this everywhere, right? It's in your school, sure, but it's in the transition, nobody to talk to. It's in this this nothing of a YouTube video that I had to fucking patiently wade through, looking at somebody's face for 3.5 minutes, saying very little, and really taking this accessibility excuse and using that as some great thing being done when that's not the issue. I mean, I'm sure that a handicapped person in a wheelchair might wait a couple weeks to get a ramp if their entire livelihood isn't going to collapse.
Yeah.
Right. So there are priorities here. I'm not saying that ramps aren't important. I'm saying that they may be second principle. And these guys are dealing all with second principle. Oh, well, we're like I said, the guy was looking at, like he was speaking like he was going to give a soft landing to ADAP. Well, we'll make it as comfortable for you as we can. Well, the fucking Nazis said that too. It's just a shower. You're going to get nice and clean. Don't worry about it. Right? I mean, and this is what they're saying. Oh, we'll make it nice and comfortable. We'll make your death okay. All right?
See, but the reason why I'm bringing up the school position here is that my advocacy journey has started essentially with my children.
Right.
So what I'm seeing on the AISH-to-ADAP front, the lack of communication there, the lack of accessible information, because nothing is plain language that's released from this government, which is a big issue.
Yeah.
Because we don't all understand on the same level.
Sure.
Right? The alienation of people within the disabled community is happening at the school level.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that, I'm living it, and have been living it since my kids entered school.
Right. So everything.
And it just gets
yeah.
worse.
So this was ground zero for you. This is where it all started, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 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 Right. So I find it. Yeah. I mean, of course, you're going to talk about your genesis, the genesis of everything that you've done and why you've done it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's all stemmed from understanding that shit didn't work before any of this horrific Dante's hell of a transition ever showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I feel empathetic in that sense to you, because you've been dealing with it while, other people.
It's parallel to everything that I'm doing, like group-wise or campaign-wise. All of this is happening in the background.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with the school, Gavin.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No changes have been made.
Right.
No accountability has been taken.
Right.
It's just one excuse after the other, and we're seeing the same thing for the people going from AISH to ADAP.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's just a continuation of the process.
Yeah.
The slow or accelerated slide to the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else in there? I want to give. I just want to stop to give people an impression of what this actually looks like, because as far as I'm concerned, this has a lot to do with things south of the border. I really feel that what the UCP is doing right now is softening the underbelly of our social programs, to perhaps prepare us to be usurped. And so, with that in mind, I want to share this with you people. Just take a look at this for a second. So, if you want to know what that is, obviously, the chick on the left is our illustrious
Oh yes, we know exactly who that is.
premier. If you look at the guy at the right, I think he's that douchebag in Shark Tank. I think that's who that guy
Yeah.
is. Right.
Yep, that's who that is.
Right.
Yep.
And we all know who the douche in the middle is.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The commander himself.
Yeah, that's right.
The entire douche brigade.
That's right. The commander and douche himself. And so this is what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a photoshopped. This is an actual picture taken from a news organization. It doesn't look to me, when I was talking to this guy today about separation, he said, well, Danielle Smith was just down there introducing herself and, wanting to talk about tariffs and things like that. And I think I think the guy's, he's not full of shit, because I think he believes it. But that statement is bullshit, because I don't believe it's true. You know what I mean? Like, this is whatever his golf course is there around Mar-a-Lago, right?
That's where they spend a lot of their time. That's where they think they get the work done.
Right. And
it's almost as bad as people that can only sing in the shower.
Right. Exactly. And so these are the conversations being had, ladies and gentlemen. These are your politicians right here.
Yeah. Well, there was just a news report on Facebook there that came out saying that Trump was going or asking Carney about helping with oil and gas or something like that.
Yep.
And Carney came back with, "We'll see."
Uh-huh.
I'm paraphrasing because I'm not in front of my computer right now. I'm going to partake in my bad habit. So
that's okay.
Yeah. But it kind of, I don't know. It seems almost like Canada's trying to sell Alberta.
Yes.
To the highest bidder.
Yes, that's what this picture is all about. This is the selling of your liberty, your political advantage for a mess of pottage, and none of it has anything to do with you. You're not going to gain from this. You're going to lose from this what would you call it? This agreement, this relationship that you're seeing right now. That's how
Mhm.
you're going to lose. And like I said, that
Well,
is
I
a real
honestly
picture.
have to laugh. People really seem to think that if, like all the separatists, oh, well, if Alberta separates from Canada, everything will be so much better. No, it leaves us as a sitting duck. That's
Yes.
exactly what it does. We are a beautiful oiled duck sitting in the middle of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not, I guess, not technically in the middle, but we're sitting in Canada, right?
Right.
And we directly border the United States like so many other provinces.
Right.
Now, if we remove ourselves from
Mm-hmm.
Canada,
Mm-hmm.
that means that our military is gone because the military is federal.
Yes.
The RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police are not provincial. They are federal.
Right.
They would leave too.
Yep.
So who the hell's supposed to protect us
Right.
if we go solo?
Think about the money involved in having to transition all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
All for what? So the US can come in and take all of our oil and gas,
Well, that's
all
exactly
of our
it.
oil sands.
That's exactly it. What is this for? It's so that ultimately, Alberta being the fourth largest geography in the world for oil and gas, you have Venezuela number one. You just see what happened to them. We're talking about pattern recognition, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so put your, you're going to have to use your brain here because you're
Put
going to
your
have
tin
to.
hats on.
Yeah, right. Because you're going to have to look at a little bit of pattern recognition. Venezuela, we just saw what happened there. Complete takeover by the U.S. Saudi Arabia, number two. Saudi Arabia is already integrated. It's the petrodollar. It's Saudi oil in a U.S. currency. That's still the case. So it's not that the U.S. wouldn't fuck them up if they weren't playing along. Third, natural oil reserves in the world, Iran. Look at what's happening in Iran right now. All right. You think this is to bring people more democracy? Is that what we're doing? We're bringing in people some democracy? No, we're not bringing them democracy. We're taking their fucking resources like we have done in Venezuela, like we have done in Chile, like we have done in Grenada. That's the U.S. history. So how do they do it? They don't have to do it the same way every time. They don't have to do it to Saudi Arabia. They're already integrated with the petrodollar, right? They have to fight Venezuela, which they just did, took over the fucking country. They have to fight Iran, and that's what they're doing right now. Alberta, however, you got enough numbnuts in this province that go, oh, I think that's a good idea. I think that we're going to be better off with no health care.
We should be part of the U.S. It's like, look, the border is right there. Cross it. Goodbye.
Right.
Like, there's nothing keeping you in Alberta. Like, why are you still here bitching and complaining?
Yeah, if you don't
If you
like
want
it,
to leave Canada so bad, leave.
yeah, get the fuck out.
It's that simple.
Yeah, but this is not the play or the ploy. It's striking when you think about this that just a province alone, not a country, just a province alone has the fourth largest oil reserves in the world. Norway, we've talked about being their heritage fund, ours at 30 billion, theirs is at 1.8 trillion. They are 15th, I think, in oil reserves.
Yeah.
They're like the 15th, we are the fourth, and we only have 30 billion. They have 1.8 trillion. You tell me who's being a good boy and who's being a bad boy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. It should be obvious to you and to everyone listening, I mean, that this is the issue. That we will have to be, one of the reasons that makes us so vulnerable. Other countries have done this, and they've done it quite successfully. So you look at Singapore, right? You look at Norway, small country, 5 million people, right? The difference between Alberta and these other countries that are small countries that are doing okay is the fact that they have ports, right? So they have ways and means of transferring their oil, getting their oil out, making deals with their oil. Alberta is landlocked.
Yeah.
And this creates a problem for how we move oil, how we produce it, where it goes, and how it gets there. And
well, there's also the what is it? The impact of actually producing the oil and extracting it.
well, there's that, and there's also the
Like
fact
the
that,
environmental impact, right? Because like you need water to run cooling systems. Where the hell do you think that water's going?
of course, yeah,
All of our water runs north.
yeah, and Las Vegas is having a hell of a time right now with their oil or with their water. Yeah, that's another problem. The other thing is what water does if you live, around a port, around a sizable enough, is it provides protection for you. Alberta has no protection. It has no geographical protection in that case, in that sense, because we're landlocked. So we are easily susceptible to any outside influence.
Invasion.
And it also seems to me that most of these Alberta separatists are fine being part of the U.S. It's not even much of an argument with these people. So you've already got the will there. You have pattern recognition in Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Alberta. And this is the way it goes, right? Because the U.S. is a failing empire. U.S. is not in the top 8 oil-rich reserve countries. They're not.
No.
They're not even in the top 8. They're as powerful as they are. We could get into that, but I don't want to do a history lesson here. But they don't have the resources that other places do. They're just at the moment the most powerful, and they're failing.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
failing.
the only reason why they're the most powerful is because they put most of their money into their defense contracts and their military surplus. That's the only reason why they're strong.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you take a look after the Second World War, the U.S. came out better than any other country, right? Because their land wasn't bombed. There was not reconstruction on the scale that there would have been in France, in England, in Spain, in any of these other countries. So everything was bought for. All of the reconstruction costs. This is how America won. This is how you got Disneyland, okay? Because everything had to be bought with American dollars. So any reconstruction, any steel, anything like that had to be bought in American dollars. They also had the gold reserve. So every dollar was backed by gold. The problem is, this is one of the major turns in history, whether people know it or not, which is the Vietnam War. They had this thing called butter and guns. So they were going to fight wars and do social programming at the same time. They quickly realized that they couldn't do both. It was either going to be war or social programs. So they started to spend their oil, their gold reserve, right? The other countries in the world that had their money in gold, right, bought with American dollars, started to apprehend that the U.S. was using that gold, their money, as currency. They came in. Britain, France, all of these other nations came in and said, look, we see what you're doing. We want our money now.
Yeah.
And the U.S. said, shit, we don't have your money.
Yep.
And so do you know what Nixon did? He got the U.S. off the gold standard immediately. He just quit the program altogether, didn't pay anybody back, didn't give them any money, just cut the gold standard. And everybody's going, well, ain't that fucking great? Like, where's my money, right? You're British, where's my money, mate, right? No, none of that money was there anymore. Their money was gone. And the U.S. kind of floundered between 71 and 74, and that's when they did the deal with Saudi Arabia to bring forth the petrodollar, which is they would provide protection to Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia would sell all of their oil in American dollars. It's called the petrodollar. This is how you got Disneyland. This is how you got Hollywood. This is how you got what in very short time went from, a good idea to a nightmare. And that's where the US is now. They are a failing empire that cannot, I forget what it is. Their debt goes $1 trillion every 3 months now. They accrue $1 trillion in debt. They're close to $40 trillion in debt. They just did an audit of the Pentagon, and the Pentagon, they've done it twice now. The Pentagon has never passed an audit. The day before 9/11, what's his name? Ah, shit, I'm going to forget his name. He went on a press conference and said, we don't know where, was it 2 trillion or 4 trillion? We don't know where $4 trillion went in the Pentagon
Was that
budget.
Obama that ended up saying that?
No, it was under Bush Jr.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so, yeah, right. They lost $4 trillion. The Pentagon. I mean, who loses $4
And there's
trillion
no receipts.
and doesn't pay for that?
Yeah.
So this is a failing empire. The U.S. is failing at an exponential rate, and they need resources. They need money, and they need it now. Our heritage fund, meaning the money that Alberta citizens should have in a provincial bank account, is close to $1.6 trillion, and we have $30 billion in it. I believe there is evidence for the fact that Donald Trump is, they'll sell us out. These, douchebags up in Edmonton are going to sell us out for the mess of pottage that we will get in return, and their lives will not have suffered a moment.
Nope.
And I cannot see any other reason for separation. Sure, are we sending billions to Ottawa? Yeah, but that pales in comparison to what we haven't saved in the Heritage Fund. It's peanuts compared to what we don't have, because our government has been irresponsible almost from the inception of the Heritage Fund. And Trump is saying, hey, you come down here and, we're going to take your oil and everything's going to be hunky-dory. I know he doesn't speak with a Southern accent, but I can't do Trump. And nor would I want to, in any respect. So, yeah, so this is what we're facing. I really believe that this is it's a usurpation. It's a takeover. I really, I can't see it any other way, and no one's brought an argument greater than the one I possess at the moment. So, if somebody wants to argue me on that, they can do that. Yeah.
No, the pattern is there.
Yeah.
For anybody that wants to see it, right?
Yeah. And this is being met out by austerity. This is, as far as I'm concerned, Daniel Smith absolutely saying we need to cut back because that don't look good for the Donald. How he doesn't want to take on this amount of our debt. He doesn't, the states doesn't have these programs. These programs don't exist in the U.S. They just cut. Oh my God, I wish I could remember. They just cut $1 trillion in funding for the most needy people in the U.S. They just cut.
They got rid of a lot of their food stamp programs. They got rid of the Feed the Children program for kids at school. In the states where they offer they did offer free meals to children from less wealthy families. That's not how you save, that community of people.
Yeah. No, they just cut $1 trillion, and yet they just spent $1 trillion on the military.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So
priorities.
Right. Don't take care of your own people and what? Try and expand the manifest destiny when you're a failing empire. There's no way you can do it. You couldn't take Iraq. You had to run away, right?
Yeah.
You can't take Iran. Iran is twice the fucking size of Iraq, and every person in Iran will die for their cause. It's
Yeah.
a theocracy. Iran is a theocracy. The people believe that they'll, whether it's 70 virgins or just meet God, they don't give a shit if they have to die. They will die for their country. Is their country run well? Well, number one, it's none of our fucking business how they run their country. And it's not because of that. It's not to bring these people more democracy. This is to take their resources, which are the third largest oil and gas reserves in the world. Alberta is fourth. It's just a little bit different way of doing it with it. We don't need Trump's not going to invade Canada, for Christ's sake. He's just going to find where the money is, because that's what he does. And then these people are going to, convince Albertans. This fucking Arthur Pawlowski, I don't know if you know who this is. He's a street preacher, feeds the homeless downtown. Yeah. And I have it on good report that he is in Washington this week, meeting with representatives of the U.S. government. And he's been a martyr, you would call that, in Christendom. He went to jail over COVID and a few things like that, and good for him, right? But what that did is it gave him panache, it gave him clout down south, and now he's fully embedded. His son is a member of TPS USA. Charlie Kirk, his son's got a picture with him and Charlie Kirk, obviously before Charlie Kirk died, and they are doing the bidding of Alberta separation. These are all pattern recognition things. The heads of whatever this is, and I haven't looked into it, I will, but the heads of the people running this thing have been to Washington, D.C. several times. Yeah. They're not going there shopping.
No.
Right. No.
No, this is all back, behind closed doors, things that are happening outside of what we would be advised on. So people that are making decisions on behalf of Albertans, and when we don't even know what the deal is.
Yeah. That's democracy. What the fuck is that? That's basically us giving up. That's the citizenry giving up. And, and then they want to blame. I saw this post yesterday on Facebook, some guy wanting to blame Russia. Again, Russia. Everything's Russia. Well, Russia doesn't give a shit about Alberta. If there's any Russian infiltration, it's minor. It's YouTube or Facebook. It's a little bit of bullshit. Your enemy is right below you, down south. That's where you have to be looking. And everybody's, oh my God, Russia's trying to infiltrate the separation. No, dummy. Yeah. That's Donald Trump and the people that he's handed it over to, so that they don't have to fight. They don't have to send one bomb into Alberta. They just have to bullshit you. Yeah.
And everybody's buying it, hook, line, and sinker, like it's the greatest option.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. Oh, go get your socks, throw them downstairs.
And if you people in the watching this right now need any confirmation of the fact that people are talking, there you go. There's your confirmation. All right. There's your capitalism hard at work. So, yeah.
No.
Do we have more, Chantal?
I can continue with the first section here of the building up, if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So we covered the inclusion and the accessibility. So what the distinction means in practice. So a province can deliver accessibility without delivering inclusion. Alberta currently does this routinely. Government buildings have ramps. Government websites have alt text on some images. Government forms exist in PDF formats that can, in theory, be read by screen readers. These are accessibility features, often partial, sometimes effective. They are not inclusion. Disabled Albertans remain absent from senior decision-making positions in the ministries that govern their lives. The Premier's Council on the Status of Persons with Disabilities, Alberta's only formal mechanism for disabled-led advisory input to government, was defunded in 2020. The Disability Action Hall, which had organized disabled Albertans for 28 years, lost its core funding in 2024. The advocacy organizations that translate community knowledge into policy input have been systematically cut. Accessibility, where it exists alongside the deliberate removal of inclusion. A province can also fail at both. Alberta does this in many domains. The AISH application requires forms written at a grade 12 to 16 reading level for a population whose largest single diagnostic categories are mental illness and cognitive disability. The Family Support for Children with Disabilities, so FSCD, program operates with wait times that approach 3 years in some regions, foreclosing access to interventions that are clinically time-bound. The Persons with Developmental Disabilities, PDD program, serves adult Albertans with intellectual disabilities through wait lists that have not moved in years. None of these are inclusion failures alone. They are accessibility failures first. The basic removal of barriers has not been done, and inclusion failures second, because the population that would have demanded better has been organized out of the conversation.
Say that last part. Sorry.
So where is it here? They are accessibility failures first. The basic removal of barriers has not been done, and inclusion failures come second, because the population that would have demanded better has been organized out of the conversation. So all of those, where is it here? The Council on the Status of Persons with Disabilities, how they lost funding in 2020, so they're no longer funded. The Disability Action Hall, which lost its core funding in 2024. So those are all advocacy organizations that existed to translate community knowledge to people.
Okay.
And they don't exist anymore.
Right, just like, what did they just recently take away again? Oh shit, I'm probably gonna draw a blank on that. But
because we got rid of all of our caseworkers.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you. The fact that whether it's Alberta Works or AISH, you don't have a primary worker anymore. That is now just a call center, and you don't know who the hell you're going to get. You don't know if how bad their husband pissed them off that morning or wife, and you've got no one intimate to your case anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody that can actually do some good for you. Now it's outsourced to like a community navigator or things like that, which are loaded down and you can't get in to see them. I mean, fortunately, I have one, and she's been a dream for me.
Yeah.
But not everybody's that fortunate. And this is the only way to have someone intimately tied to your needs and to interpret everything that's going on that is so confusing, even the government doesn't understand it. Right.
So they've essentially removed our ability to be included in what's happening in our lives by removing these support structures. And that wasn't by accident.
Of course not.
because it's being systematically done across the board.
Yeah.
So the long wait times for FSCD, closing windows for kids that need specialized services, but, oh, you gotta wait 3 years before we even see your application. That's 3 years worth of time that you're not gonna get back to try and build those gains that your kid needs
Right.
in order to function in the ADAP world that the government is trying to push,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So that's a big issue. The blueprint this document builds requires both. So accessibility is the floor, inclusion is the standard. A fair province delivers both in every domain, to every disability category, at every stage of life.
Mm-hmm.
Anything less is not reform. It is the maintenance of exclusion under the language of progress.
All right. Yeah, and they like to use some of that, don't they? The language of
Oh, yeah.
progress. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how weak we are as a society to continue to buy into uh, inadequate language that we can apprehend in real time, and yet we still don't want to
Question it.
or wonder, why nothing ever gets done. Uh, we just take these glib explanations, and we praise our political pundits, and there's no praising of a political anything. I told that
No.
to this guy today, the separatist dude. I told him today, I said, it is not your job to praise politicians. It is not your job to like them.
Mm-hmm.
It is your job to make sure that they do for you what your life needs, what your needs are as a part of this society, as a part of this tribe, and to
Mm-hmm.
when they don't do it, to put their livelihoods at risk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. You never need to praise a politician for anything. They're only doing their job, and it is the most banal job on the planet. It is the most mundane, two-dimensional, insignificant, uncreative part of life. Why are we praising people that don't do anything but, like in the Mel Brooks movie, the history of the world, part one, where they have to walk through the Roman, politicians and everything, and the Mel Brooks is freaking out because what do I do? Like they're gonna catch us, and he's like, no. So they put the robes on and they walk out into the hall with all the other ones, and their only line is bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And they just say that going down the hallway, bullshit, 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 bullshit. That is your politician. The only thing that comes out of their mouth is bullshit, and when you're saying bullshit, that's the language they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And I can't believe how many people actually buy into it. I really can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So moving on, the social model and the lived experience definition. This ought to be good. The underlying both accessibility and inclusion in the social model of disability, the framework developed by disabled scholars and activists in the late 20th century, that disability is produced by the interaction between an impaired body and an excluding environment, not by the impairment alone. The medical model treats disability as an individual problem to be cured, accommodated, or managed. The social model treats disability as a social problem to be removed by changing the environment. Both models have legitimate uses. Medical care is essential, and the medical model captures that. But policy designed around the medical model alone produces what Alberta has now, a system that treats disabled Albertans as broken individuals to be processed rather than as full citizens whose exclusion is the system's problem to solve.
This goes right back to what we were talking about yesterday. This goes back to my thoughts and constructions on how we do civics.
Yep.
Because everybody's a number now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a sin or a, whatever my
File
thing is,
number.
file number. And there is no humanity in any of that. That's what they do to inmates. They give you a number.
Yeah, because we've got our Alberta health numbers, we've got our driver's license and government ID numbers, we've got our case numbers, we've got our social insurance numbers that tie us directly to the federal government. Everything is a number.
Right, and this goes back to the professional managerial class, the PMC, right? This is a way for them to keep track on you, to keep tabs of you, and there is another way to do civic life. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have a number or two, like you got whatever your sin or something else. Okay, fine, but I'm talking about construction. I'm talking about proximity. I'm talking about accountability. I'm talking about the fact that you don't need an overblown professional managerial class because your politician or the person, I don't even know what you'd call them, your servant, there we go, your servant is in direct contact with the citizens every day. Right? Their office is in that district. They are a part of this civic agora, right? This place where people come to debate and they come to exercise their political license, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Their political, well, yeah, their political license to be a part of the political process. You have philosophy, you have art, you have music, you have theater, you have commerce, you have all of the things that you need, and your district is built in such a way that it brings everyone together into a middle space like this agora. And therefore, you simply live better. And I took Forest Lawn as a test case. And Forest Lawn is kind of it's one of the shittier districts, let's say, okay, in Calgary.
We have a Forest Lawn here in St. Albert too.
Oh, do you? Yeah. The Forest Lawn in Calgary is not really the pride of much. And that's one of the reasons that I took it as the model. It's a fairly dense area, really. A lot of schools, a lot of houses, a lot of commercial buildings and things like that. In doing this sort of concave creation that I have, you would only have to move or transition 3 houses to create in the entire district of Forest Lawn this construction, right? And you could probably get it down to 0 if you were a little more creative. I'm not a city planner. I've gone as far out on a tether as I can to do what I can. But in my research, I've realized that maybe 3 houses would have to be demolished or something like that. But you pay the people out, you give them a fair price. If they don't want to move, you don't bug them. There's a highway in Japan with a house, like we're talking an interstate, like 4 lanes on each side and a house.
Yep, and there's a house in the middle of it.
A house in the middle, right? Great, good for you. You do you. You know what I mean? We'll build around you, no problem, right? We can solve these problems. They're petty. And 3 houses, you could probably get it down to 0 if you just, massage that a little bit better. And this is how we do civic life so that we're not a number. We're a name. My name's Gavin. Hi, Gavin. My name's Chantal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was like I had a conversation with my bestie there when we were heading down to check out the new school for my littles. There is a school that has been closed. They've pulled everything out of it. It's just the building now. And there's there are 2, what are they called? Playgrounds. One's on one side and one's on the other. Now, as I'm looking at this building as we're driving by in the Uber, it was kind of funny because like we've got quite a few homeless here in St. Albert. Like we're not a very big area, right? But we still have homelessness here. I know that there's a lot of homelessness in Edmonton.
Oh yeah.
And I just kind of got to thinking and talking with him about, how I would repurpose that school,
All right.
right?
Yes.
You put some offices in there to house a counselor, somebody that like a community counselor, an addictions counselor, somebody that knows job placement. Get some computers in there, not necessarily ones that you want to like leave there, but people have laptops now. It's all mobile, right? Fix up the kitchen, fix up the bathrooms, right? Kids' bathrooms, whatever.
Yep.
Like there's already public washrooms in there and they're labeled male, female. You've got other ones for faculty, right? Why not turn it into a shelter of some sort?
Right.
And you have the whole field around the school. It's all there. Why not turn it into greenhouses?
Right.
Because that school is a hop, skip, and a jump from downtown St. Albert, where the what the heck is it called? The farmers market happens.
Uh-huh.
So if you give people something to do, working in a greenhouse, let's say during the summer months, right?
Yep.
They get everything started. They start selling produce. You can cook what comes out of there. Now you've eradicated the homelessness issue because people have housing within that school. They have a purpose, which is the greenhousing. They
Yep.
have the option of counseling. They have the option of looking for jobs and getting their feet under them.
Right.
Why can't we do something productive with all of these spaces?
Right.
Like there's a whole hospital in Edmonton that's been boarded up. Well, why?
Right.
Repurpose it.
Uh-huh.
You've got bathrooms, you've got rooms, you've got offices. Repurpose it. Why is it just sitting there?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does, and I won't pretend that I understand the ins and outs of this, but there is a reason why places are left vacant, and I'll have to look into it. I've heard the
I know the asbestos thing and
no,
sometimes the
no,
plumbing's
it's
bad or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's actually a fiscal responsible thing. I mean, it depends on how you're defining this, right? So I'm careful, but it's actually fiscally beneficial that people that own these kinds of properties would leave them vacant, then use them or repurpose them. I'd have to look into why that is. I mean, I can look it up right now and give you a couple minutes, but there is an actual incentive for people to not do that, for the owners of these properties to not rent them out or anything. They actually make more money not doing that. And this is your unregulated capitalism at work, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't serve any kind of purpose within any kind of community to have an empty building just sitting there. Well, there should be laws against that. There really should.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what's called community, right? Like the guy that owns that property is obviously not broke. He's obviously not destitute. He's doing okay, I would assume. If you're doing okay and you're not going to lose your life, then whatever is necessary with whatever you have within that district or the thing that you just saw, what you're talking about, then that should be utilized for the greater good. You shouldn't be able to make money at the expense of your tribe, because a tribe would kill you.
Yeah.
Right. The tribe wouldn't allow you that leverage because they would know that that was the destruction of the tribe. And the person holding that property would also know, number one, that's not the best thing for the tribe. And if we don't do the best for us, we could be taken over by another tribe. That's number one. And number two, they're going to kill me. So I think I'll make the right decision here. We don't live that way. Now, I'm not talking about killing anybody. Please, ladies and gentlemen, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you suffer risk if you don't play
Mhm.
by the rules. And it just so happens that our rules are inverted. They work for the big and they don't work for the little. And once you serve the little, or I hate to say little, but you know what I mean,
Mhm.
then you create a foundation in which to build the rest of your society on. If your foundation is crumbled, which is the least of these, you will never build anything sustainable, cultural, meaningful. None of these things will exist. You'll make your little bit of money, but other people, and you won't even necessarily feel good about yourself. How could you?
Mhm.
How could you feel bad? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So to continue on here, so the lived experience definition is the third anchor. Disabled people themselves, through lifelong knowledge of what their conditions actually require, what supports actually work, and
Mm-hmm.
what barriers actually exclude, and what inclusion actually looks like, hold expertise that no clinical or policy training can replicate. Real accessibility and inclusion cannot be designed without disabled people in the design rooms. The phrase "nothing about us without us," originating in disability rights organizations in the 1990s and adopted by the UN CRPD as a guiding principle, captures the standard. Alberta's current disability policy architecture has been built largely without disabled-led advisory input,
Mm-hmm.
and the consequences are visible in every program the document examines.
Yep.
As you know, I've got to thoroughly pluck that bird. Working definitions for this blueprint. Accessibility is the systemic removal of physical, communicational, technological, programmatic, and attitudinal barriers that prevent disabled Albertans from participating in society on equal terms with non-disabled Albertans. It is a treaty obligation under the UN CRPD and a statutory standard under the Federal Accessible Canada Act. It is the floor. Inclusion is the systemic guarantee that disabled Albertans, once present in any space, will be full participants, heard, valued, decisive, and equal across every domain of life, including the rooms where decisions about disabled people are made. It is the standard the floor exists to reach. So real accessibility and inclusion are distinguished from performative versions by three tests. Are the barriers actually removed in the lived experiences of disabled people?
Yep.
Are disabled people actually present and decisive in the rooms that govern their lives? And is the framework grounded in lived expertise rather than imposed from outside it? A province that fails any of the three tests has not delivered real accessibility and inclusion. It has delivered the appearance of them.
Right. Right. Yep. Smoke and mirrors. Don't let the left hand know what the right hand's doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just to close off the section, what this section establishes, the remainder of part one applies these definitions to the life cycle of a disabled Albertan, from the developmental window of early childhood through the transition to adulthood, the operation of provincial support programs, the role of family caregivers, and the moment of acquired disability, and measures Alberta's current performance against the standard the definitions establish. A note on what comes next. So the life cycle frame that follows is not a description of disability as a category. What disability actually means, the campaign's existing reference document performs that function and remains the companion text to this one. The life cycle frame in part one is the description of the architecture a province should build to support disability across a human life, and the systemic gap analysis between that architecture and what Alberta currently provides. The argument is structural. The evidence is sourced. The conclusion is that Alberta's current direction is not the absence of architecture. It is the active dismantling of architecture that other Canadian provinces have built, the federal government has built at the national level, and international human rights law has bound Canada to maintain. Part 1 documents what is being dismantled, why it matters, and what should replace it.
Okay, so it seems like everybody's doing their job except for Alberta.
Yeah.
Right. That's, in a nutshell, what it seems like to me. And once again, I mean, it becomes overwhelming in a sense. There's so many moving parts to it, and yet, it's funny, Chantal, as complicated and as nuanced as this issue is, it's fairly simple.
Oh, it is.
Right. It's not that hard to understand that you are getting screwed. In all the ways you're getting screwed, Chantal is explaining to you. And it's in a technical fashion, in a technical output. And it can become overwhelming. I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm kind of going, what? What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like because it's so much coming all at once.
Yeah, well, that one there is going to take a really long time to make it more accessible, like to do the plain language version of it. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Right. But suffice to say that everything that Chantal is saying is that you're getting screwed. And this is the way you're getting screwed. This is how other places in the world do it. This is what the UN has dictated and holds Alberta, Canada accountable for. Most other provinces are at least being fair about it. They could be doing better. There could be a market basket index that ensures that you're not going to collapse or that you'll make it to the end of the month. And that is a statistical, mathematical number. It's not a guess. It's not an assumption. And Alberta is the one not falling behind, but deliberately dismantling and destroying 80,000 lives. And it's the only province doing it.
And there's no escape for us.
Um,
Financially, if anybody wanted to look at moving to a different province, number one, how do you get there? They got rid of the Greyhound buses.
Yep.
There's accessibility gone right there.
Yep.
A lot of us can't afford vehicles. A lot of us don't have licenses.
Yeah, it's
So
not
how do
even that we can't afford the vehicle. We can't afford the fucking insurance.
Yeah.
Insurance has gone through the roof. I would have a car right now, but I can't afford the insurance. I just can't. Yeah. Once again, it's all management.
That's part
It's
of the
all
structural cage thing, right? The report that I did on that.
it's all managerial. It's
Yeah.
all managerial, right? The dictate comes from down from the top, from on high, and then it comes down to the managerial sector, and then the pressure and the weight of that push society down. And that's the way it is. Whether you got $1 million in the bank, I mean, some people are going to outlast this and they're not going to worry. Even this guy today, this separatist guy, he said, well, when my mom dies, I'll get the house. He's 45 and he lives at home. And he wants to separate. I'm like, you gotta, what? Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, you're the most needy motherfucker on the planet, man. What you need is for your provincial government to do their job. You don't need to separate from Canada. You can give Ottawa the pettiness, you know what I mean? The scraps that fall from Alberta's banquet table. You can let them have that. Why wouldn't we? If we're a thriving ecosystem, why wouldn't we give to our neighbors? Why wouldn't we give back to our country? Now, I probably don't have all the story, and some of that money could be misappropriated, everything else. But it seems like much ado about nothing to me. because the bigger problem is the fact that that Alberta is not responsible for its own wealth.
No, no, like every year I hear, you know, the teachers and the EAs and the school districts and everything whining and complaining about the fact that they don't have enough money to support education. They don't have enough money going into classrooms and going towards any kind of infrastructure when it comes to education for the next generation. And yet it's like we're sitting on this money that, you know, has been accumulating, and we could totally afford to bolster the education system for our province just out of our own coffers. So
Yes.
take what the federal government gives you and then add to it.
Right.
You're putting back into the people that are going to be either staying here in Alberta as the next generation. I'm sorry, with the level of education of our current government, I think the school system did them a disservice, Gavin. I really do. That's something we really need to pay into.
Of
Because
course.
these people really didn't learn much.
Right. Right.
They can't even show their work.
Yeah. Of course. And you're right. We have the money, you know, for all those climate nuts out there too, which the UN just came out and said there is no there. Stop worrying people. You're not dying. The you know, if the universe wants to take care of the earth, it'll do it. Just chill the fuck out. And for all those climate whatever out there saying, well, oil and gas. Well, okay, sure. Let's say we cut oil and gas today. We stop production today. We should still have $1.6 trillion.
Yep.
Which would take care of us into some form of antiquity, right? There is no excuse for the fact that we don't have the money that should be in that bank account from at least the mid 80s till today.
Yep.
And sure, stop oil production today. But that doesn't discount the fact that there shouldn't be that amount of money in Alberta wealth. And there isn't. And of course, you can assume that all of that money went to something good. But nobody knows that because it's not transparent. It's completely opaque. We don't know where the hell that money went. They said something. They said it was going to go here. But Norway, with more people and less oil, only take 3% out a year to deal with infrastructure and programming. They only take 3%. That's why they're at 1.8 trillion and we're at 30 billion. So, of course, you know, Chantal, we have all the money that a province could ever need.
Yeah. Well, it's no different than the issue of all of these able-bodied Albertans begging for employment. They need jobs. They want job security. They want to be working. They're actively looking. They're going to all of these employment. What are they called? I want to call them employment roadshows. I don't know what they're called. Oh my goodness! They're going to all of these like employment. What are they called? What are they called?
What?
Yeah, all these recruitment places and stuff like that for like job fairs and shit, right?
Oh yeah, I know what you. Yeah.
But yet, you know, we have such a deficit when it comes to what is it, healthcare. You know, like we don't have enough nurses, we don't have enough doctors, we don't have enough this, we don't have enough that. But there's been no incentive programs created to get these people on the track of, hey, maybe go into healthcare.
Right.
Like we could offer that through using a tiny bit of the Heritage Fund of, hey, here's a clinic that we're going to open.
Yeah.
You know, we need so many workers, we have so many shifts, and now we need a whole bunch of young people or able-bodied Albertans to man the front. Let's incentivize it.
Right. Right.
Not happening.
Well, no, yeah, because that's work. And why?
But all of these people want to work. That's what doesn't make sense. We have a whole bunch of Albertans, even just from the previous generation, that are at that age where they want to have a fulfilling, meaningful existence, and they want to make the money, and they want to have that security and they want to have careers, but our government's not doing anything to help them. And how are we supposed to integrate into that? We're not able-bodied, work-capable population.
Right. Right. I had a thought. Where'd it go?
Your hamster died.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's been a long day for me too. I've been out in the sun, for 3 hours and walking up and down. But what was I? The job fair thing is just a load of shit. It's just another conference for somebody to make money and for you to still be out of a job. Because jobs come from the government. Jobs come from healthy ecosystems where the people are first and primary and foremost. And then you build construction around that. I mean, my civic model, there's one guy, mega dude online that, he can't get himself enough of that new arena that we're building and the new arts commons and everything else, right? And I'm like, because he's a tradesman, right? And I'm like, you tell me, dude, like, number one, you're not going to do one bit of work in the new arena. That ain't your shtick. You ain't getting one job there. Arts Commons isn't busting your door down. But what if we took $800 million and we spread that around the city and your trade was applied for the next 5 years assured? You wouldn't want that for yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, people are so short-sighted, ignorant, and they don't realize that $800 million will not buy you culture. It will buy you entertainment and voyeurism, but it won't buy you a ticket into that. It won't bring you into that ecosystem. And the guy in question is no drummer worth any salt, so he ain't getting in there, I can tell you that. And what we need, though, is people participating. Even this guy, as good or not as he is, should be playing in his community and creating on his own level. And we can do that. With $800 million, we could change the way we do civic life for a century.
Yeah.
So we got to think about that. We really have to think about these things, man. We're so smart, right? We're so smart. I mean, I'll show you right now a guy and a chick that think they're smart. There you go. There's your smart right there. How do you like them apples? Huh? I mean, you can't get more of a unregulated capitalist on the right. You got a chick selling out Alberta on the left, and then you got a guy that is probably, I don't know, can't spell his name, and
no, he's got people for that.
Well, right, just a overt narcissist.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what you need to succeed nowadays. Don't think of anybody else, just yourself.
Well, yeah, I read a great book by Gabor Mate where he says, narcissism is less mental health anomaly these days than it is a strategy.
Yeah.
People are so self-interested for their own self-gain, narcissistic, want what they want. And then you add insult to injury by marginalizing the most needy people, 80,000 needy people in Alberta.
Yeah.
I mean, are we that smart? Are we that smart? I don't think so.
No.
I think we're pretty stupid. I think we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. And, that's why you are, and Pam is, and other people are such a blessing. Because we understand it. We're close enough to the ground to understand what humanity is. I said that yesterday, and it's true. It's really true. None of us are philanthrocapitalists, just out for ourselves. We're not stakeholders or shareholders. We're just people that want to live on a planet that is already naturally fair. It's just not constructed that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you done your?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're done with that. I'm just trying to see here.
You mopped it up good, I'll tell you that. You no stone
Well,
left
that's
unturned.
just the start of
Oh,
what I've already sent out.
well, yeah, I want to deal with the next one next time. Um, it looks like we have some guests coming on pretty soon.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We have Can Man Dan coming on. I guess Acorn's going to get a hold of me, so we got them coming on. We still have Zachary probably next week coming on.
Hopefully his friend's doing better.
I hope so. Zachary, if you're out there and you're listening, we, we fully understand and we bless you, bro. We hope everything's okay with your buddy and you and your missus. Um, we'll have him on very soon. Uh, I'm gonna start beating on the door of Renault.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I'm gonna head to her office probably next week.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of go and say hi.
Yeah, I think if she's using your stuff, man, the least she could do is say, yeah, I'll come on and give an account of myself and, tell you what I see and what it looks like, and we can have a
Well, she
grand
got that
conversation.
email back up and going to the, what is it? The ATIA. So
Right.
the broken email that we had on Monday,
Yep.
by that evening it was working.
Right. Yeah. So we got that figured out, and uh, you were no small part of that, doing what you could there.
Well, I emailed her right away.
Yeah. We're doing everything we can. We really are. We just wish others would do something just a little bit more, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't stress yourself
So
out.
our final talking points for tonight was what's coming in the next 7 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So things to
Right.
watch for. The ministerial order containing detailed ADAP regulations promised later this spring is still unpublished. Identification letters to AISH recipients about automatic transfer versus AISH retention, because nobody's gotten anything saying, congratulations, you're staying on AISH, or hold on to your boots, you're heading to ADAP.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And those were promised prior to July. So we're 50 days out.
Right. Promised prior to July. What the fuck are they talking about again? Prior to July. July is when it happens. It should be prior to October.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the October before, not
exactly.
Yeah.
Not right before the transition.
Mm-hmm.
Possible additional municipal coalition members joining. So I'm hoping to see an increase of people calling for ADAP to be paused or tabled at least. Federal CDB indexation, July 21st, the first month Alberta captures the increase. That's going to be coming out. Any further government counter messaging through MLAs in other coalition cities. So with that gentleman that ended up not doing his homework, and I sent him some stuff to read. So here's hoping he changes his tune, but I guess we'll see. And we'll probably see a lot more people trying to side with Smith in the days to come, just because she's probably getting frantic at how much this is picking up.
Yep.
And then
I hope so.
where is it here? The 50-day window is when the campaign's documented record either holds or doesn't.
Right.
Every piece in the Alberta Disability System Breakdown Library exists to make sure that when the government says thousands participated, transition is supported, appeals are clear, no one loses anything. There is a sourced, citable counter record that says otherwise. Newdorf's op-ed is the test of whether that counter record can hold against coordinated MLA counter messaging. The municipal coalition holding is the answer so far.
All right.
So we're still in the lead.
Right. Yeah, I think we are. You know, of course, I can't assume why none of these things have taken place yet. You know, of course, your hope is always that that we're kicking ass so hard that you know they're getting cold feet, right?
Yeah.
But that's a pure assumption. I don't think there's any evidence yet to show that.
Well, we have to also remember too that we're looking at 30 days, right? 30 days. If everybody was to send an email to an MLA's office or the minister or the premier of Alberta, they have 30 days to get back to you. And we
Right.
have 50 left.
Right. Right. So you better get on it, people, for what it's worth. Once again, you know, I want to say like, share, subscribe this podcast. It's quite important that people are hearing this and that somehow we're engaging people to do more than they are in any capacity in which they can, and nothing outside of that. For the people that were so adamant that I post, you know, prior to my events, I've done it. Where are you? That's my question to you.
I'd love to see some more poster boards as I'm, you know, wandering around St. Albert saying that they're against the AISH-to-ADAP switch. You know, anything.
Right.
Put yourself on the map. Make your voice heard, even if it's somebody driving down the wrong roadway because they took a wrong turn. Make sure that you're seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you imagine all of those apartment complexes in Calgary having no AISH-to-ADAP switch signs up in their windows?
Yeah, like what a fucking thing, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like a whole apartment block.
$2 for a cork board, or $2 for one of those poster boards from the dollar store.
Right.
You know?
Right. Right. Yeah. Could you imagine like a whole, I don't know, old folks home or something like, or high rise, like, shit. You know, I'm looking at getting a studio in this one place that's, you know, 60 up, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if every window was just plastered with this? You know, the media comes out, boom, there you go. There's your optics.
Yeah. And it doesn't even just have to be for the AISH-to-ADAP switch. They're coming for people on CPPD. They're already doing a disservice to the children needing FSCD. The school systems are failing our children as well. You know, there are so many different stances that still make it heard that what they're doing to the disabled community is wrong.
Right. Right.
And every voice matters.
Right.
So get that board, write what you need to, put it in big bullet letters, even if it takes you 4 days to make it. Get it up there, tape it to your window. We'll see it. Other people will see it. Other people will join the cause. That's the whole point.
Right.
And if you can go to the bottom of your driveway or to the roadway and just stand there with your board, whatever, at least you're joining the fight. You're joining the cause. You don't have to be in a group of 1,000. You are one voice. You are a voice that is part of the collective.
Right.
And everybody is there with you.
And if you are part of the middle class and you go, oh, thank God they're not coming for me, or they haven't come for me, they already have.
Wait till you're on WCB and you become a number.
Well, they already have come for the middle class. They've ripped off the middle class somewhere in between $250,000 and $350,000 per family since the 80s. So from the mid 80s and up until now, I believe it's at 3 or 5% of 1.6 trillion, which the Heritage Fund should be at. You have lost somewhere between $250,000 and $350,000. That is your entitlement for living in the fourth largest geography of oil and gas. So they've already come for you.
If the middle class really wants to get pissed off, there's a report specifically for them.
Well, they should be pissed off because somehow when they say this doesn't matter to them, well, they don't know what matters to them because they've missed the biggest thing that mattered to them for 30 years. And the biggest thing is they could have had $350,000 in their bank account since the 80s. Like, you want to talk about thriving. That's thriving middle class. So
Yeah.
you can do your thing. Can I shut her down?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right,
We're golden.
ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe, please. Uh, we will be back on Thursday at 3 p.m. So we will go Mondays at 3, Tuesdays at 6, Thursdays at 3, Fridays at 6. That's okay. You can hang your hat on that. Um, and every Tuesday and every Friday, including today and this coming Friday, we will be downtown in front of City Hall, giving everything we have to the professional managerial class right behind us. People are standing with us. People are parking their cars just to come up and protest with us. It's a beautiful thing. Um, Come down to that. If you're a serious person, come down to that. For those that can't, don't. For those that can, do. And do you have anything to say, Chantal? Anything coming up? 22nd of.
Yeah, just the legislature protest that I'm going to be at.
Well, then we're
So
all
I'll be
trying to be
there,
at.
but I'm hoping to be there by 10 o'clock. I'm going to bring a whole bunch of cards with me. I'll bring my 6 by 4 foot banner. I'll be there probably until about what 2:30 because I have to make sure that I'm home for my kids, and then yeah,
Okay, well,
I'm gonna make a day of it.
yeah, I mean, we're trying to get there, as many Calgary strong as possible. We're trying to get up there for the 22nd. So I'm working on that. Um, okay, much love and respect to you. Much love and respect to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in and for obviously caring a little bit enough to take a few minutes out of your what the government has made a busy day for you and coming and sitting and at least absorbing. So we appreciate you all, and we'll see you Thursday. Thanks.
See you Thursday.
All right.